Hey, it's Kurt with Mañana No Mas. And if you're with the WP Agency Academy, the Sunflower Launch, WP e-learning, or Mañana No Mas, this might be interesting for you. We're going to dive into a fresh WordPress build right now, and we're going to feature a couple of, hesitate to call them newer tools, but we're going to explore a suite of tools from another provider. So typically you see me in like the Lifter LMS space. Sometimes I'm talking about LearnDash or Kajabi or other things in the e-learning space. But today we're going to be talking about Creator LMS. And I didn't just want to do like the LMS and then not show other tools, because the website by itself with just the LMS, you might think to yourself, well, how am I going to promote it? Or how am I going to do other things? And so the company that releases Creator LMS also does WPFunnel and MailMint. So we're going to install all three of those tools onto one of our test sites. I call it a test site, but it's WP eLearning. And so we're going to put it on there. And because it's an e-learning based URL, we're going to have an LMS built into it. And Creator LMS just this week released some new tools for events. And the events could be in person or they could be virtual. And so I want to kind of walk you through that process a little bit, but I didn't want to just show you the events. I wanted to make sure we just walk through this from like the very beginning. So stick with me, folks. You're going to see the screen change. I'm going to be the little guy at the bottom, and the next screen you're going to see is going to have our test site on it. Let's get this thing done. Hey folks, I told you I'd be right back. And if you look up, you're going to see I'm just down in the bottom corner right now. I believe I can move that around a little bit, which would be good while we're recording this. Here we are, plain website. There is nothing in here. WP eLearning. Let's take a look at the back end of the site so I can just show you there's nothing of consequence in here. We host with 20i, so you're going to see Stack Cache in here. That's part of the 20i setup. But then we've got our normal settings, normal tools. There's nothing crazy in here. There's no users yet. There's no plugins. We haven't even put theme in here yet. So the first thing that I want to do is I just want to call out the elephant in the room. There are a ton of ways that you can start a website. There are a ton. You could do a full build like what we see with Etch and the stuff from Kevin. You could do a starter site with Cadence. There, you could do something in Elementor. Here's what we're going to do today. Let's jump in and stick with me on this. I might break this video up into sections in the future, but for right now, I'm going to go through this whole thing, just kind of like how we do this. So let's go forward, and I might have to go through later and like blur out license numbers and stuff, but I'll figure out the editing on the back end. You don't worry about that. So let's go to themes. I'm going to go right into themes, and I'm going to put in Astra. So I'm going to add a theme, and that theme I want to add is going to be Astra. And here it is right here at the top anyway. So let's install and activate that. And when we activate that, right out of the chute, it's going to change the site some. So it says your website might be ready in minutes. Let's start building now. Let's go ahead and just add the starter templates plugin now. It's going to go ahead and do that. And it says activating. Okay. So getting started. There we go. Okay. So let's get started with Astra. First name. Do I want to put all this in here? Yeah, let's just do it. Let's go through it as if you're doing it, right? So, Kurt Walanen, that's my email. Select an option. How did you hear about us? I'm the agency that recommends this to everybody else. How about that? Let's say other, okay? Or friend and colleague. How come I can't select anything? Friend or colleague. Oh, it's too close to the camera. There we go. So let's select an option. Friend or colleague. There we go. Is this your first WordPress website? No, I build websites regularly. What benefit matters to you? I just want something reliable, right? I need advanced design, flexibility. Wow, they're really trying something, aren't they? Okay. Please specify the other benefits. Long-term user here. Okay. Here's where I'm a little bummed in the way that this is going. This is new. This screen is new. This just popped up. I've been using Astra forever. So I should have been able to go from like add Astra to like done. And then I could have added Astra Pro. And then when I added Astra Pro, it just would have done like a normal kind of like onboarding. It would have said, oh, it's Kurt, we like Kurt. It would have been like that. But they've changed something in their flow. So their user flow now is all geared toward new users with this and not people like me that have been with them for years. And so you're seeing this as if this was like a new thing. So let's hit continue. Select your features. Okay, comes with site builder. Build fully customized websites. More control. It says with Pro. Yeah, and then it's going to say heads up. You selected Pro features. You'll need to upgrade. And then I already have it. So this is a pain. Okay, header and footer builder. I already have that. Modern WooCommerce store. I already have that. Right. So let's get past that. AI starter templates. Let's just do this. Okay. I will upgrade this package to Pro in the next step. But right now we're in the beginnings. So let's go ahead and do this. There's AI starter templates and there's classic starter templates. They have beautiful starter templates that are already done, right? But here's the issue with a starter template that's already done. It'll be like on yoga or a DJ or fitness, right? Like a personal trainer. I'm not looking to change a whole website from one genre to another. I want to create the site in the genre that I'm working in and then tweak it from there, right? So I want the first draft to be on my subject. So I'm going to say generate with AI. Now this whole process is actually pretty cool. So it says, let's build your website. What's the name of the website? Well, it's WP e-learning. What do we have here? Well, we've got an ad at the top of the screen. Man, you got to love doing things during the holidays. All right. I don't want to see ads, especially in the video that I'm making to promote their stuff. All right. So name of the website. We are WP e-learning, right? And there really shouldn't be a space there. So let's do that. WP e-learning. Okay. This website is for an agency, a restaurant, an entrepreneur, a nonprofit, a local business, a gym, a spa, or a SaaS. Well, wow, it's not really giving me too much to really go on there, is it? So am I an entrepreneur or am I an agency? I'm thinking about this from the terms of if I was a customer that owned WP e-learning, what would I be? I'm going to say entrepreneur. Okay. And it's in English and we're going next. Okay. So now here's where we describe WP e-learning. So WP e-learning is a platform that introduces young professionals. I don't want to say professionals, right? I want to say young candidates to the benefits of running a e-learning business. Whether a single subject course creator or a full-blown academy, WPE Learning has the tools and training with processes to help our users get the quickest path to e-learning success. Okay. Let's do. Okay. So we focus on learning management systems sales funnels, and email marketing. Okay. Now, here's the cool part. You just saw me write this, okay? Improve using AI is right there. So let's improve it. And let's see what AI has to say. I mean, we've got 3,000 characters here to spend. I spent about 600 characters. I mean, I spent 300 characters and now it's 600 characters. So let's see what it has to say. WP e-learning is an innovative platform designed to empower aspiring entrepreneurs in the e-learning industry. Located online, it offers comprehensive tools and training for both individual course creators and full-scale academies. Established to streamline the path to success, WP e-learning specializes in learning management systems, sales funnels, and email marketing. Users choose WP e-learning for its effective resources and supportive community that fosters growth in the competitive e-learning market. Join a growing network of educators and business owners who trust. Okay, I would say this is better. This is better, yes. So let's go next. The next thing it's going to ask us to do is put in some information. So it's not a secret. I don't have to blur this out, right? Mañana no más. People that want to call me, I guess you can go ahead and call me. And if you want to send me mail, I'm not scared about that either. So let's just put this in here. Hutchinson, Kansas, 67502. There we go. Social media. I'm going to leave social media blank. What we can do is we can go in here. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to put social media in. So let's do that. Okay. Let's put in a Facebook and so you guys can see how this works. I'll put in Mañana no Mas's Facebook. Facebook.com. Mañana no Mas. Okay. We'll do another one. Why? Because we can. So I put enter there and then you just click the plus button to add the next one. The next one is going to be, let's see, LinkedIn and HTTPS with LinkedIn. In directed on it. Okay. So those are two of them. We could put in the rest. We could put in YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. We don't need to do all that. All right. We got a couple in. So let's say next. Let's move my face. Now let's say next. Okay. So now it's going to, let me put me at the top here. So now it's going to say, let's go ahead and add some pictures. So you can select a lot of pictures here. So don't be shy, right? Remember, our theme is e-learning, right? So there's someone on a seminar. Here's somebody. Here's a homeschooling example. Okay. This is not e-learning. These people have books. So we're going to skip that. We're going to go to this guy. This is a good one. This is a good one. You're picking up what's going on here, right? We are just picking up what looks, okay, that's a great one. Let's no. Good. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's close that ticket down. There's a good one. They have a lot of the same images here. Look at this on the computer. It's the same lady. But that's whenever you have stock images, these are the kinds of things that you'll see. And remember, we can change all these later, right? But I want to put a good source of content in. I want the AI to have a lot of pictures to choose from because it's going to create, that's a good one. This one, that's a good one. He looks like he's studying hard. She's studying hard. Let's see, who else is the bedroom picture is a little weird. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Now, if you look at this, I'll bring the face back down. I'll put the face over here. If you look at this, we've got 31 images picked so far. That's probably pretty strong. This is a good one here with the girl. these look like the people on the show on A&E, like, which house do you want to buy? So I'm not going to pick that one. And sometimes these pictures come through in groups. And so you'll see that some things look like very similar all at once, but we'll pick that. Like, for instance, if I wanted a picture that featured someone that was Muslim, or I don't know if they're Muslim or not, but she's wearing a head covering. So maybe I would pick that, right? But that's not my goal for this project. So I'm going to pick things that like this picture here. That's not my goal for this project. So think in terms of your project. So now here we go. I've got 32 images picked. Let's go next. The next thing that we're going to see is the design. So the design is talking about layout. And so we're making an e-learning website, right? So here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. I have premium, right? So I can pick anything I want here. I don't have to pick one that's not premium. So we can go through these. And once I pick it, even if it's premium, it'll go through because it'll ask me to sign in. And so when you hover on one, it scrolls. And then when you remove the hover, it scrolls back down. Okay. So our goal here is to pick one that kind of matches what we want to do. Now, here's some pro tips. Pro tips: stay away from starter templates that have these weird masks or shapes over their pictures, because it's really hard to pick the right pictures to fit those weird shapes. Like, as cool as it looks on the sample, it's not going to look that cool with the pictures that you have. So you want to pick things that have common use. Oh my goodness. You want to pick things that have common use shapes and the ability to host those pictures. Like, this is a good one down here at the bottom, right? We've got 1x1s and 16x9s and things that are squared. I mean, they're beveled edges, right? But we're not looking at crazy shapes and things like that. I'm tempted to use the one down here at the bottom just because I don't like the colors, but I don't want to say the colors because the next screen is going to allow us to pick colors. If I look at this top one right here kind of goes right into things. All right. So we're going to have an e-learning, website, and it's going to have multiple courses. And when we look at this, that looks like that could work really well, especially when we think about hosting up images or content that align with featured images. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select option 1. Right away, we get choices. So do we want to change the text? So you'll notice when I change these, you're going to see that the text changes in its alignment and the type of font that it is. So the original one was right there. I'm kind of happy with the original one because it condenses things and it saves space. I like that. If you use longer titles for things, you're going to want to pick a font that compresses. You're not going to want to pick something that's all expanded, right? Because then when you pick something that's expanded, it's very hard for you to space your work out later. And so I do like serifs. I do like the look and the style of this, but as we go down, you'll notice it's sans serif for the paragraph text, which is great. So this to me is something that I like. Now, the next thing that we get to choose after the font is the colors. Watch the button over here that says call to action. When I click purple, it changes to purple. Blue changes to blue. Green changes to green. Red changes to red. And so we're able to go through. And remember, I said, oh, I like those colors. The one at the bottom. Would be like that one, right? So remember, when you pick the format, you're only picking the actual layout. The colors come next. So don't get distracted by, oh, I like the looks of this one. You're not looking for the looks of it. You're looking for the structure of it. So you pick the pictures, and then you pick the structure, and then you pick the colors. All right. They have dark mode here as well. Dark mode really scares me. I don't use dark mode for a lot of things. I think, like, when you look at the samples, I think, oh, that looks great. And then when I go to try and create in dark mode, I end up with a lot of frustrations. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this to mustard just so you can see it. And then I'm going to head back to, I think our choice is either going to be between this green color and this red color. How about this? Raise your hand if you would like to see green. Raise your hand if you would like to see red. That was kind of a joke. I'm going to say green. Okay. So it says you've chosen a premium design, continue. And then it's going to ask me to sign in. And that'll happen in a moment. Okay. So are we going to use blogs, a contact form, automations and integrations, page builder? Notice blog, contact form, and page builder all come with the template. Not a problem. SEO is an add-in that's going to add a plugin to your website. E-commerce would add SureCart to your website. Automations and integrations would add, I think it's called AutoKit, would add AutoKit to your plugins, and free live chat would give you the option to sign up for chat. I turned all those off. Let's just start building. And now we are going to log into my ZipWP account, which is going to allow us to be able to build this out. Woohoo! Your site is ready. Says you did it. Brand new website is all set to shine online. Let's go see the website. So this is the site that we just built. It comes up in a new tab. So I jumped over here to this new tab. Let me move my face over to the other side. Put that over there. So empower your e-learning journey. Now, remember, we picked the photos, we picked the layout, we picked the colors, we picked the font, and this is the result of gluing all that stuff together. We got a green button up here that says get started. This just goes to the contact page. It gave us a home page, an about us page, a services page, a blog page, and a contact page. That's not a bad start. Now, for our purposes on this project, we're going to be adding an LMS, a funnel tool, and a CRM, kind of like an email newsletter blast kind of thing. So those will be separate, but right now we have home, about, services, blog, and contact. So here we go. Get started is going to go to the contact page. And here we see at WP eLearning, we provide aspiring entrepreneurs a platform filled with resources, tools, and community. Join countless course creators and academies thriving with our specialized solutions. Here's some of the pictures that we had chosen. Here's the layout. The layout looks great. I know that there's a lot of professionals in the WordPress space that right now would be like, Kurt, this is bad. You're laying this out like this is easy. I've been doing this for over 20 years. Can I develop a custom website in Elementor, in Bricks? In the future, will I be using Etch? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that. For customers that have $15,000, $18,000, $20,000, we can do that. We can make custom products for people that have those demands. But a lot of people coming to Mañana No Mas originally don't have that kind of budget to look at a project. So can you get a first draft of a website done quickly and efficiently and using our services to make that happen? Yeah, that's what this video is about. It's important to understand use case. And the use case that I'm showing here is very specific. So let's jump in. That's the about page. That's the home page. Let's see the about page. And you're going to see this is well laid out too. We've got the hero image. Let me move my face back over. We've got, am I on the right page? Sharing this tab. Yes. Okay. Empowering your e-learning entrepreneurial journey, innovative solutions for entrepreneurs. There's our pictures. Remember, we picked these pictures. So this is working out really, really good. From vision to reality, it's making these headlines based on the content we put in originally. So for our first draft, this is great. WP eLearning was founded with a clear mission to provide aspiring entrepreneurs a comprehensive platform that simplifies their path to success in the e-learning field. Absolute mission and vision. Our mission, this is interesting. Our mission at WP eLearning, our mission is to empower aspiring entrepreneurs by providing innovative tools and this sounds familiar. Comprehensive training that simplifies their journey in the e-learning industry. Our vision, we envision a world where aspiring educators have the resources and support they need to succeed in the e-learning industry. Well, I believe all that. Okay, join the e-learning community today, and it goes right to the contact page. All right, so let's go back up. We've got services. Services will be a very similar type of experience, pre-made content. I'm going to move my face over here to the side. We've got learning management systems, sales funnels, email marketing. Where did this come from? This came from the original paragraph that we wrote. So learning management systems, sales funnels, email marketing, community support. Bam. That's right. So it's got that. So we're in. The blog, it's going to give us probably 3, maybe 4 sample blogs. Yep. So we've got 4. So this is from WordPress. Hello World is the standard WordPress ad, but then these are the ads that we've got here. Mastering the first impression, the art of drawing readers in, crafting captivated headlines. So it's already giving us sample blog content. If we want to see what the blog format's going to look like on the page, this is the blog format. I'm happy with this. Again, if this were a custom project, if this were, a bricks and etch project, even an Elementor project, we would design the blog page. Like, I want my content wider. I want hero images for each of my content pages. You could say all those things, but for a first draft of a quickly made website using this tool, this is phenomenal. This is a great first draft. So we get here, the contact page. Let's take a look at that. Typically, these have contact form, phone number, email, address. They've got the socials in there for you, right? So if you want to share with socials, and you can edit all these just by clicking edit page and then going into the back end and making any edits that you want to make. So here's that image, here's that headline, reach out to the WP e-learning team. That's fine, right? Do I want it split up this way? Maybe I want it to be, maybe instead of there, I want it to be like, reach out to the WP e-learning team. And maybe I want to make this, hold on. Maybe I want to make this a heading. And maybe I want to make it like a lighter gray, right? So reach out to, bright white, WP e-learning team, kind of a lighter gray, right? Maybe I want to do it that. And I'll leave it that way for now, right? I can play with it. I can do whatever I want. Shore forms is in there. So it's going to be a shore form. When we look at it on the front, we can see it on the front. And then of course it gives us a map. If you don't like something on the page, you simply select it and then go over to the 3 dots and you can choose delete if you want to delete it or remove. Okay. So we've got that. All of our options to change things are over here on the right. So if I click here and I go, ooh, what's this look like? And then I click on style. Here's the picture. Do I want to change the position of the picture? Do I want to move things around left or right? I can do that, right? All of that freedom is here inside the WordPress editor powered with Astra and help me, Spectra, Astra and Spectra, because that's all part of our setup. All right. So let's click save here because I did make a change to the hero title. I think, yep, it's changed. And so let's go out to view the page. And there we see, here's the change we just made. Reach out to WP e-learning team. And it probably should say reach out to the WP e-learning team, right? So if we want to change that, let's go back here, share this tab instead. And we'll go right here and we'll say the. And then we click save. And then we come over here to this other tab and we refresh it. And there we go. Reach out to the WP e-learning team. Making these changes are just that simple. So now let's jump back into our back end. Let's go to dashboard. We're kind of moving quickly here, folks. So I want to make sure that you stick with me. Right now we've got Spectra, starter templates, and shore forms installed. That's all we have in this website so far. We've got a complete first draft 5-page website with sample blog material, with just a theme and these 3 plugins. But let's jump in. There's a couple of things that we want to do. We're going to add a plugin, and I'm going to see if CreatorLMS is CreatorLMS. CreatorLMS. Here it is by WPFunnels. Okay. So let's go ahead and install that. And I'm going to go ahead and activate that as well. And here we go into this little kind of startup wizard, right? So, hi, Manana Nomas. Welcome to CreatorLMS. It is designed to blah, blah, blah. Opt in to receive. Absolutely. I leave this one clicked on this one. It's a pretty new product and they're always putting out something new. So it's good to give yourself, I'm going to move that up there. So it's good to give yourself those messages. Like I said, just last week, they added events. You could do live in-person events, or Zoom, or upcoming will be Google Meet events with this platform. And so if you toggle this on, you're going to get those announcements. So let's start there. Currency symbol US. Let me move my face out of the way. All right, there we go. Currency position is on the left. I'm going to work with Stripe. So I'm going to say Stripe payments. I'm going to say on for Stripe payments, pay with Stripe payment, test mode. I'm not going to put on that, right? Then how to find your publisher key and your live secret key. Let's go test mode. Yep. And it's still going to ask for the test publisher key. All right, I'm going to leave this in live mode. I don't want to record this part of it, so I am going to actually leave this with offline payment for now, and we're going to go to next. Okay, so I'm going to say offline payments are good, and we're going to go next. I'll connect Stripe off camera so that I'm not sharing my Stripe information or financials on a recording. All right, here we go. Recording, we're thrilled to have you join. Get your first course. As you come in, that was Sultan. Hi, Sultan. When we create courses, we go right in here to create courses. We'll come back and we will do that at a later date. Here's why. I wanted to get CreatorLMS installed. I wanted you to see kind of what was happening here. There's courses, there are quizzes, there are certificates, there is membership. This is cool. Membership is available in the CreatorLMS Pro version. We're going to be adding CreatorLMS Pro off camera. We're going to add our license in here. So we'll be Pro the next time I turn the camera on. We have coupons, we have orders, we have subscriptions. This is really, really awesome that you can do subscriptions right through the platform without having to do some kind of premium add-on to do that. Okay. Then we have a list of our students, right? That'll be typically synced with the WordPress users listing, right? And then we have emails, course creator emails, new order confirmation for creator, order canceled for creator. Perfect. Student emails, new order, enrollment, course completed, enrollment cancellation. Perfect. Okay. We're going to use Mailmint for other email automizations. So I don't need to worry about that. Migration, settings. Let's go into settings and take a look here. We have general. So the archive page is all course, checkout page, profile page, then terms and conditions page. We could pick a terms and conditions page if we had created one. We didn't create one yet. We can make one and add that later. Okay. Layout. Layout's going to tell us how do we want things to look. Archive page layout. Select a layout. And so if we pick these different layouts, we can look here and we can see that there's different layout settings. And so when we change these, you can see that it changes across our preview here. So if I take a look at this and say, okay, and then if I want to add search, add sorting, and add a filter, we could certainly put all of that right into place. Now, it just depends on how big your academy is. If you're running a full-scale academy, you're probably going to want the filter element. If you're a single course creator, you're not going to want this, you're not going to want this, and you're not going to want this. You're just going to want your course displayed cleanly and plainly. And that's what's awesome about this platform, is that you can choose that. There's layout 4, right? And so if we take a look, it's the course columns, right? How many is it? Am I going to go full width? Am I going to split the screen? Am I going to do thirds or fourths? But then we add search, sorting, and filter. Again, just depends on how big your project is. Choose the course filter, category, tag, price, or difficulty. All right. Courses per page. Just set how many courses to display per page. If you have 150 courses, you're probably only going to want to put like 10 courses per page for people to select from. You're not going to want people to have to scroll 150 courses. So that's why an element like that is here. Okay. So let's take a look at branding. Branding is going to ask us what our primary colors are: heading color, progress bar, text color. You can change all of that. Account and privacy, right? Privacy message. You could put in a custom privacy message if you like. Permalinks, it's going to go right into the permalinks. It's going to say, what do you want these things to be? We typically use pretty links in the permalink settings in your WordPress settings for your website. So anything that's a dynamic website like WooCommerce, LifterLMS, CreatorLMS, Fluent CRM, you're typically going to want to use the pretty link setting and set that. And this is an example of what those pretty links are. And this is an example of what those links will be as they're developed within the platform. And then payments takes us right back to, do we want to be offline? Do we want to be Stripe? Do we want to be Molly? Do we want to be Razorpay? I'm going to be offline and Stripe. Those are going to be the ones that I'm going to do. All right. In our next segment, you'll see that we have CreatorLMS Pro installed, and we'll start adding a course just so we can go through the process of what that looks like to add a course to this website. Hey, here I am down here. We just installed CreatorLMS Pro, and if we go into this area, let me move my face over. There we go. If we go into CreatorLMS Pro, we're going to see that we have that done now. If I go into settings right here, you're going to see that we've got the same settings and things lined up there. I'm going to go into license, and I'm going to add my license key. There it is. And we're going to show that it will say active. Boom. All right. So now we are active, which is going to give us a little bit more as far as options go. So now we have courses, quizzes, assignments, certificates, membership, coupons, subscriptions, students, migration, add-ons. Let's take a look at add-ons and see what we have available. So enable and manage add-ons for your LMS to enhance your course experience. So we see here that if we have Zoom, it requires cohorts. So let's turn on cohorts. That's one of the things that we want to do. So we're going to turn that on. There we go. Now we want to turn on Zoom. Gamification. Okay, we're working our way through. Gamification. Engage learners with points, badges, levels, and leaderboards. We don't need this yet. This is where, like, once you have things going, you're able to make things really start to click. But let's go take a look at some other things here. We've got community. Enable community features for your LMS. Allow students to interact, share, and learn together. All right, that sounds like a winner. One-click offer. Create sales funnels to show additional offers after course checkout, increasing revenue through upsells and cross-sells. So if you were someone that was actively selling multiple courses, this is absolutely an add-on that you would integrate, that you would start to use, right? So there's that. Content protection. Protect your content by disabling, copying, inspecting, and screen recording certain features. I'm going to leave that open. That's a cool thing for some folks, but I'm going to leave that go. Google Meet was just added to the system. So integrate Google Meet for live classes and video conferencing. I'm going to add that. Now, when I click manage for that, it's probably going to say connect your Google account, right? And then there's the AI suite, and then there is webhooks. Now, webhooks send automated notifications to external services when CreatorLMS events occur. So if I wanted to be connected with other third-party platforms like Automator WP, WP Fusion, Zapier, things like that, I would activate this and make this go. For this particular use case, we're going to leave this unchecked. Okay, but let's click on Google Meet and see what happens here. So in here, we're going to say integrate Google Meet for live classes and video conferencing. And you're going to notice, what does it say here? Enter your Google Client ID, enter your Google Client secret, and enter your Google redirect URL. That's all the stuff that you'll get from your personal Google account. So if you have a Google account and use Google Meet, you're going to be able to go into your Google account, get your client ID, your client secret, and your redirect. let's go back and let's take a look at Zoom. Zoom's going to be very, very similar. It's going to ask us for the account ID, the Zoom client ID, and then this secret code. It's like it's like an API key, right? And we're going to put that in. Just so you know, if you try to integrate Zoom with like the Zoom integration in WordPress with your website, you have to go through a multiple step process to generate your own Zoom apps. It's more than one. You have to generate at least 2 apps in Zoom and then connect those apps to your website. So this working this cleanly, this efficiently, this quickly, this is really something to pay attention to. So I'm going to cancel these because I'll set these up off camera. So I'll go in and I'll add my Zoom credentials off camera and we'll go from there. But here you can see we've got cohorts, community, Zoom, Google Meet, and the AI suite activated. If we go into course enhancements, we've got course and community. If we go into live classes, we've got Zoom and Google Meet. If we look at engagement, we didn't turn those on. If we look at sales, we did not turn that on. The AI agent is on and automation is currently off. For this use case, we just simply don't need it. So, but this is how you would run through and set up the website to be able to do the extra things that you want to do. Now, for this use case, with this project, there's another tool that I want to integrate. So let's go to plugins. Let me move my face over and we'll go to plugins and we're going to add a plugin. And this time we're going to add WPFunnels. And that's going to pop up as a WPFunnel tool right here. Easy WordPress funnel builder to collect leads and increase sales. So we're going to install that now. And before I click activate, the sister product to WordPress funnels here, the sister product to WP funnels is right next to it. It's MailMint. So I'm going to install MailMint right now. Now, and I'm just doing that for ease, right? Lack of clicks and things like that. Now, next to that, you're going to see Bit Integrations. This is not the same company, but Bit Integrations has been really aggressive in the last year or so in adding to their platform and creating more connectivity for automations. So if you're looking for a way to automate your website and you like WP Fusion's not my gig, Automator WP is not my gig, if you're not into that stuff, but you want to try one, the Bit Integrations might be the answer for you. Just throwing that out there. Easy WordPress funnel builder. Let's activate that. And see, the reason I installed both from the same screen is because when you activate them, they go right into their own install wizard screens. So here we are. Welcome to WP Funnels. Let's start. Check the guide, WP Funnel features, upgrade to Pro. Let's start. I'm going to click with Let's Start. I have the Pro version. So newsflash, off camera, I'm going to activate my license for the upgrade to Pro now. I'm going to do that off camera. But let's start. And it says here, do we do lead funnels or sales funnels? Now, here's something that's interesting. I'm going to click lead funnels. Lead funnels from a marketing perspective is always going to help me create leads. Sales funnels helps you with conversion. However, if I click sales funnel, it's going to make me have to use WooCommerce. I'm not looking to use WooCommerce with this tool. I just want to create leads on my website and I want to upsell courses through the payment gateway that's with CreatorLMS. So see, this is where the 20 years of experience in WordPress comes to fruition. This is where things make sense. So if I click sales funnel, it's going to ask me to install WooCommerce. And then I'm going to have to go through this whole WooCommerce setup thing. And I'm not even using WooCommerce to sell my courses anyway. So what's the sense in all this nonsense? Let's just use the lead funnels. So I'm going to say lead funnels. And am I using Bricks, Elementor, Divi, Oxygen, Gutenberg, other? Gutenberg. It says Gutenberg, but what Gutenberg is I got to move my face again. Gutenberg is the native WordPress editor. That's what we're using. We're in Astra right now. We have Astra as a theme, and Astra is in Gutenberg. It's in the block editor, but the block editor is called Gutenberg in a lot of platforms. So it says, let's install some required plugins. MailMint's one of them. We already installed it. And Cubely is one of them. Those are Gutenberg blocks. That's like pre-designed blocks that are going to be added to our block library. So let's just click next. And it's going to start doing its thing. It says, let's create your first funnel or upgrade to Pro. I just want to show you the next screen. I'll upgrade to Pro off camera. This will take us to our funnels. And I just want you to see how this goes. It says, hey there, welcome to MailMint. Yeah, thanks. Let's start, right? Email campaign builder, email automation, abandoned cart recovery, lead capture forms, email templates. It does all kinds of stuff. You could go for Pro now if you want, or you could just get started with the free version. I recommend getting started with the free version. And then if there's things you want to do, you can always upgrade to Pro. So let's get started. And now it's going to ask us for businesses. I already put our business in before, and I wasn't afraid to show that to you. So let's put that in there. We're going to put that. We're going to be in the United States. I know I could have typed in a U and I could have gotten right there. United States. Select the state. I am in Kansas. I am in Hutchinson. 67502. And it's WP e-learning. I don't have a logo for it yet, so I'm not going to put a logo in yet. Says you're all set. Look at that. Opt in to receive tips and discounts. Absolutely. I'm going to go to the dashboard. Again, off camera, I'm going to upgrade to Pro. It says you do not have any SMTP set up on your website. SMTP is an engine that helps you send emails from your website. So I have a SendGrid account. You could use Mailgun. You could use Elastic Email. You could use Mailhawk. There's a bunch of tools you could use to send email. I find that SendGrid is one of the most reliable. So I'm going to connect my website to SendGrid and do that. But this is just a sample website. So I'm not really worried about it, right? I'm building this just to teach you what to do. But if I had my druthers, I would hook up my SendGrid account in this thing right here. In the dashboard, we have contacts, campaigns, automations, forms. These are all the things that happen inside of MailMint, and WPFunnels is down here. If we go to the dashboard for WPFunnels, and this is going to show us, how many customers, how many orders, how much revenue, how much order bump we got, growth. It tracks everything for you, which is really, really nice. Picture, like right now, we haven't built any funnels yet, but picture you have 10 or 15 funnels running and you want to know, hey, which funnels are generating revenue or conversions for my website? This dashboard would help you determine that pretty quickly. So that's a really good thing. Now, there's documentation here if you need help. There's a setup wizard if you need to go back through the setup again. You've got support and they've got videos to help you along. But if we go into funnels, this is where we can build our first funnel. We don't have one, so let's build our first funnel. Now, we said that we were in the Gutenberg editor. So all of these are Gutenberg templates that will work with the standard WordPress editor. And so we're thinking, well, what do we want our first funnel to be? Well, we're going to create a course, right? And the course, like I have WordPress Basics for Business. That's a course that I'm going to put in, right? So let's say that we want to take any one of these could do, I suppose. But let's take, I like this guy. So let's import this. It says e-learning Gutenberg 2 steps. Yes, some things are misspelled, but it says importing. And now this whole thing just works. And I'll go through the tour with you a little bit, just kind of, and I'm going to move my face over again, but I'll show you the tour here. It says, this is where you change the funnel name. So that's at the top, right? This is where the canvas and you configure your funnel journey. Notice how you can add things in here. If I want to add a feature, I can add a feature. If I want it to be finished, it can be finished. If I want to edit, I click here to edit. I click here to see it. So let's say we want to see it. I click here. Oh, we're still in a tour. Sorry. So that's that. Let's go to the next one. These are settings to help you configure and edit the funnel. That's what I was just showing you. This option will let you run A and B tests. So you can set up 2 different versions and send half of it to one part of your list, the other half to the other side of your list. You could do that. Conditional journey, right? This feature is used to create conditionals. So if you were in Groundhog or Fluent CRM, this would be conditional logic. So I sent them this message. Did they do it or did they not do it? Well, then I send them these messages based on whether they did or didn't do, right? So that's conditional logic. So we can build all that out. We can zoom in or zoom out. So we can zoom in or zoom out of whatever we're building, which is nice. And we can view the funnel stats, right? So you can enable quick stats right there and additional options. This will include webhooks, integrations, and analytics, okay? The view the funnel, right? Perfect. And now it's open for us. So now let's say I want to edit one. Well, we already picked it. So now we're going to go ahead and edit it. And you'll notice it's going to open inside the WordPress editor. So let's go over to that tab. And it says the e-learning Gutenberg landing page. And here we are. E-learn, empower yourself to become a learning champion. And anything that I want to change in here is going to change just like it would in any WordPress page. This would create the lead magnet. So let's say that we want to give people access to the course that we built in CreatorLMS, which we haven't built yet, but it's going to be WordPress basics for business. So empower yourself, become an e-learning champion, right? Instead, what we would say is empower yourself. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to click down. Whoops. There we go. And in here, I'm going to say WordPress basics for business. And then we can click in here. We can change this back to a heading. And that's perfect. Empower yourself. WordPress basics for business. Take control of your WordPress journey. WordPress journey and achieve your goals with our LMS platform. With our easy course. All right. Course name and all this stuff is editable. This is a picture, right? Picture and a video. This is so you understand what's happening. You can just go in as a template and edit this to feature your stuff. When you're done, you click save. Okay. Now we're going to head back to edit the funnel. And we're going to say, what's our thank you page look like? And we're going to edit the thank you page. Here it comes. Simple and easy, right? eLearn, congratulations. Welcome to Enhanced Learning. Your access details are on the way because we're going to use the system to send their sign in, their login, right? So this is going to log them into CreatorLMS when we're done. And so now we have a lead magnet and a thank you page. This here is an upsell. This is a call to action for an upsell. And so when we say get 40% off, it could be whatever you want it to be. Get 20% off, get 10% off, get in for free, whatever you want to do. So what we're going to do in this particular website, as we build it, it's going to be a WordPress basics for business course. And then the upsell is going to be launch your own successful WordPress agency. And then they're going to get I'm thinking probably 25 or 30% off on going to the WordPress Agency Academy and taking that 47 lesson course at 30% off or something like that. So that's probably how we're going to upsell this thing. So we're actually going to give away the course that's WordPress Basics for Business. We're going to give that away as WP Learning's lead magnet. And then the upsell is going to be selling them the Living the Agency Life course, which for us is the WP Agency Academy. But, Living the Agency Life course, how to successfully launch your own successful WordPress agency, That's typically $500. We'll give them like 30% off on that, this upsell. But that's how this upsell would work. So let me jump back over here, share this tab. And so we have the landing page and we have the thank you page. So when we're ready to launch this, we can click over here. We can say, that's for stats. So I still have to turn on the pro version. But if we make changes, we're going to go ahead and click save, and then we're going to click publish. So I just wanted to see how that's going to work. Hey, it's a new day here. And now that we have CreatorLMS, WPFunnels, and MailMint installed and configured, let's jump in and do a course. So I'm going to go over here to CreatorLMS. There's courses, quizzes, assignments. There's all these things. Let's go straight to courses. And let's just walk through the process. Now, I'm not saying I'm a complete expert on this. This product is pretty new. It's only a couple of months on the market. So let's walk through it together. It says add a course. So boom, let's do that. Now, there is a thing up here to import. So if you had a ready to go course and the file was compliant and all that, you would just import it. But let's do this. Is it a self-paced course or is it a cohort-based course? A cohort is a group of people that go through a set of training information together at the same time. So this is going to be a self-paced course, generate an outline with AI. How cool is this? So let AI help you generate a full course structure, including the title, description, and chapters. I am going to bypass the AI this time. Okay. I just want to do start from scratch. I want this tutorial to be for people that already have a plan, that already have content. So let's do start from scratch. And it's going to dump us right into a course building tool. So what we're going to have here is the secrets of scores in WordPress. All right, add the course description. Okay, let's do this. Let's go out to one of my tools. I got to go to my bookmarks. I got to go to AI. I'm going to pull up my Pixa account. And yeah, we're recording the whole screen, right? Okay. So let's do this. It says, hey, how can I help you? Search for documents, templates, tools, and more. I'm going to go to not social media, AI chat suite, content suite. Here we go. AI writer. Here we go. Post title generator, summarize text, product description. Boom. Here we go. All right. Include your brand. I'm going to say, well, I'm going to leave it no, right? Generate bulk posts. No, we're not going to do that. The product name is The Secrets of Scorn. The Secrets of Scorn in WordPress. Target audience. E-learning professionals. Let's just leave it at that. Product details. We have course on using WPFunnel and Grassblade to run SCORM-based learning content. Not using WPFunnel, using, hold on. I use Lifter so much, it's stuck in my head. We have a course on using CreatorLMS and Grassblade to run SCORM-based learning content. No, it's right. Okay. It is in LifterLMS. That's what the course is about. So we have the course using LifterLMS and Grassblade to run SCORM-based learning content. It doesn't need to know that I'm using CreatorLMS, right? I am looking for content for introductory, influential, benefit heavy text for this course description. The course is, let me go back here. I'm in another screen, by the way, with my course outline videos. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Okay, so the course is 10 video-based lessons to include screen shares and demonstrations of using SCORM within Lifter LMS, saving enterprise level clients roughly 60%, 65% budget on hosting and operating an e-learning site. All right, there's a lot there. Why? But the more I give the AI, the more it's going to have to use. Language, that's good. Creativity, I want to go for premium. I want the tone of voice to be professional, and I want to select the default model, generate. Oh, look at this. See, this is so much better than me typing this out. This gets tailored specifically for e-learning innovators. Are you an innovator? Don't miss this chance. All right, so it's done. Let's go ahead and copy it. Copy to the clipboard. Let's go over here and let's add our, boom, there we go. So that's an enter. 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 And this is bold. I like that. Nice. Okay. Wow. Okay. I have a picture for this as well. So let's go to this. Okay. So now let's go to chapter name. Wow. Okay. Chapter name. And this one I'm going to call SCORM Wrap, Secrets of SCORM, SCORM Upload, SCORM Grassblade, SCORM Model 3. What is it? Okay. So what is SCORM? So we're going to say, let's make this full size. That's easier. Copy. Paste. Add content. Video. Perfect. Membership. Others. Oh, sale price $99. Horses. I think this is using mailman. What's this doing? All right. I felt like I needed to redeem myself So I came back into the community section of our CreatorLMS website, and I'm on the home feed. So that's where you see the things that we set up in our example so far. We did the poll and we did the first comment, right? Well, now let's turn that off. Now let's go to let's go right here to the actual SCORM in use feed, right? Because there's channels, there's spaces within the community. And so now we see that this opens up discussion, events, members, and courses. So like if we go to courses, it's going to show us SCORM use in WordPress. Okay. If we go to members, it would give us a list of the members. If we go to events, it's going to show us upcoming events if there are any. And then of course the discussions. So I didn't have the Zoom set up in the original video. So let's take a look at this with Zoom setup. So let's go events. Let's create an event. And we're going to call this the mastermind call. Okay. It's me, Manana Mamaz. I'm hosting it. I'm going to do it online and I'm going to do it on Zoom. Okay. And our Zoom settings are going to be in here. Start the video when the host joins the meeting. Start the video when participants join the meeting. Allow participants to join before the host. Mute participants on entry. So I'm going to go with video, and mute so people can turn their mics on. Like, when you start teaching and then someone shows up 5 minutes late and they don't mute themselves and then there's like noise in the background. So that's what I'm trying to avoid by setting that toggle right there. I'm going to leave it private, selected, and invited guests only, right? So that'll be people in this course that'll be able to come to it. Select the channels. It's the general feed. Okay. So we're good there. And now we're going to go next. Next is picking the time. So I need to pick the end date. Remember, an event could be a live event. So it could be like a weekend. It could be a week. It could be like whatever. So when you do a Zoom meeting, it's awkward because you need to pick the end time before the beginning time, just because of the way that the system works. And so I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, I'm going to pick December 8th there. I'm going to go here. I'm going to pick December 8th there. Oh, it says December 7th, December 7th. There's something wrong with the times. There's something wrong with the times. So let me go over here. Let me go over here. That's interesting. It's doing something weird with the times. All right. So I'm going to change this to 10:30. That does not repeat. Then I'm going to say, let's get together. Let's get together. Okay. Choose a cover photo. I'm going to add the banner. I'm going to pick this one. It's not going to scale properly. Just so you know, I'm doing this quickly so that we can run through this. Notification and settings. So I can send an email reminder an hour before. I can add reminders. Let me close that window. There we go.
The most scared honesty in my life.
I'm going to send one reminder. Dang it. Oh, this one pass drives me nuts. There we go. Not one. Is it one pass? I think it's one pass. Drives me nuts. Says only hosts can post in the event or attendees capacity. If I want to limit the size of the meeting, I can do that. There's a thing here for post, follow-up, and post-event. It's a weird thing the way that they wrote it. What it is I can record the event. So let's say I want to record it. That's great. Pre-event resources. I can upload a file. I could say, hey, review this white paper before coming to our mastermind meeting. Or here's the agenda for our meeting, right? I can do that and upload a file. And then when the meeting's over, I can have it send people a post-event resource, like maybe an evaluation or a survey or something like that. And then I'm going to say save as a draft. And then the next screen is going to have me review the information and ask me if I want to publish it, right? So now I'm going to say, here it is. It's a draft. I'm going to go ahead and publish it. Now it says published. So now if we go back to, let's just act like we're going here in the home feed. We're here looking at our feed. Everything's great. Okay. Then we click on our group. We're going to see if there's any events. There's an event coming up and we can click on that event. It's going to give us a special event page and we can join that event. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. So now there's discussion and QA for the event itself, right? And it says error occurred while fetching posts, but you'll notice that it came up, right? And there's no posts here. So we'll have to check that, right? But it says add a post or ask something. So let's say testing posts in events. And we're going to post that. Okay, that's there and that's there. So I'm not seeing an error in fetching it. That might have been like a timeout notification or something like that. And then resources, pre-event resources. It's another opportunity for us to have put, this is where people would get that resource, right? So it's right there. So here's the event details. Here's the discussion about the event. Here's the resources that you want before you attend the meeting. I hope. And if you want to edit it, you click back in and edit. Okay. If I want to get a link to it, I can copy the link right there, and then I can share that link. Okay. So if I had made the event open to the public, for example, I would take the link, share the link on social. People could join the event, and then that would be kind of like your lead magnet to join them as a member of the website. I think that makes a whole lot more sense now that I got the Zoom credentials signed up and you could see that work. Have a good one. Bye-bye.